CG Focus, a SKU that did not exist before the collab. Ghost has never brought out a new product for a collab before. It's always collabs on existing products. And today, the game changes with Focus, the non-stim Focus product from CG's collaboration line with Ghost. So today we're going to be talking about what goes into CG Focus, what makes it different, what's cool about it, what's unique about this product, and what the formula does for you. Obviously, Ghost already has a few different focusy products, right? They have their energy cans, which have full doses, and they're fully therapeutic, full transparency on that. They've got Gamer, which is obviously stimulant, but it works on things like focus, reaction time, all sorts of decision-making skills because of new level and stuff like that. With Focus here, we're looking at a non-stim version of that idea. It doesn't contain all of the same ingredients from new level, but there is some crossover there, and this, might stack well with a Gamer or an energy drink. But on its own, it's a non-stim focus product that you could use for studying, work, gaming, all sorts of stuff. If you're a late night worker, if you're a late night gamer, this might be an interesting product for you. Ghost is very simple with their claims. They tell you exactly what it is, what it's going to do. I don't feel like I need to tell you all about what to expect from this product because you know from the title, Focus. So today, let's break down this supplement facts panel. Let's talk about all the ingredients, what they do for you, and let's learn a little bit more about what's different about this product. Now, Focus may be a new product, but it doesn't have a lot of new ingredients to Ghost. They kind of take a bunch of different ingredients they've already used. They remove any kind of stims from like their pre and gamer and RTD and stuff, and they come up with a great non-stim product here. Coming from the top, you already recognize things like acetylcarnitine, hydrochloride. Now I'm going to go with the 2 scoop dosages because that's what I always stick to here at PricePlow. We're interested in the full doses, but obviously you can use 1 scoop if you want to assess your tolerance, if you want a little bit less intense focus. In this case, however, because it's non-stim, I'm not expecting a lot of people to go with the 1 scoop dosage. Normally that flexible dosaging is to meter the amount of stimulant into your body. So in this case, we're talking about 2 grams of acetylcarnitine hydrochloride. Now, acetylcarnitine is a great choice for this because they're going to be going big on choline doses later. And what does choline make? Well, if you watch our videos, if you watch my videos, at least you know that choline is part of the process of creating acetylcholine. Acetylcholine is the learning neurotransmitter. It's very important for a lot of things, whether it's training, socializing, studying, learning, as the nickname would suggest. It's very important for all of these things. One of the bottlenecks is choline for the creation of it, but the other bottleneck that sometimes can happen is the acetyl group, acetylcholine. Acetylcarnitine is really popular for nootropics because it can cross the blood-brain barrier. That makes it really popular for this because you're also using alpha GPC lower, which crosses the blood-brain barrier too. So there's an awesome synergy there, but that's not where it stops. So acetylcarnitine is often talked about in fat burners because it can help mobilize fat to mitochondria to be used for energy. Alongside choline, it also has a great synergy in increasing carnitine retention, which is really important as well. But for nootropic purposes, there's a bunch of different things here that we're looking for. It's neuroprotective, neurotrophic, and antidepressant in some cases. If you are low in carnitine, there are a lot of different reports of those depression, of cognitive decline, and a lowering of learning abilities. So obviously supplementing this is going to be important, especially if you're not getting it from your diet. You can get carnitine from red meat, but in these kind of dosages, you're going to want to be supplementing to get these kinds of effects. So before we get over into the choline dosage, which we will get to in a little bit, we've got 2 ingredients in between here and there. We've got tyrosine at a 1500 milligram dose, which is awesome. Tyrosine really starts around like 500 milligrams, but I like to see it above a gram. I think those big dosages are fun. If you looked at CG's Legend collab, they use a big dose of it there. Obviously 1500 milligrams here. We don't need super intense stuff because we're using this before like studying or video gaming or something like that. But 1500 milligrams is still gonna be a really nice dose. It's gonna feel good. Now, tyrosine is really important for a couple different things. It's actually really beneficial if you are sleep deprived, but it's heavily involved in the creation of a bunch of different neurotransmitters, things like dopamine, epinephrine, norepinephrine. Now, these all help with focus, motor function. They give you the fight or flight response. They also can boost lipolysis and heart rate when needed because of those things. You're going to find a nice feeling from this. I wouldn't expect too much heart rate increasing or anything like that, but it is going to help get you focused in the moment and get you ready for whatever it is you're about to do. Even the the military has produced studies on tyrosine in sleep-deprived individuals, noting that it improves performance in those kinds of people. It's super important. They also compared it to caffeine, and they said that both are really important, but obviously in this case, there's no caffeine in this formula. So if you're staying up late studying, if you're staying up late playing video games, or whatever it is, this is a pretty good option for you. In fact, you could even use this as a non-stim option, adding into a pump product if you wanted to. Say, Ghost Pump with CG Focus would be a great non-stim focus pump pre-workout as well. Now, another ingredient similar to tyrosine with multiple great studies that we are big fans of at PricePlow is taurine. They've got a full gram of it here. Again, you see bigger dosages of this in other products from Ghost. We're used to seeing taurine. It's a big, awesome product. There are tons of studies supporting its use in a lot of different functions, from athletics to nootropics. In this case, it has a bunch of different benefits here. Obviously, as a base, taurine is very helpful for hydration. It's an organic acid that acts as an osmolyte, modulating water transfers and calcium concentrations throughout the body. It's one of the most abundant amino acids throughout the body in things like muscle tissue, the retina, central nervous system. It has a lot of different benefits in supplementation. Now, despite taurine being a conditionally essential amino acid, which basically means that we can kind of create it within our own bodies if we need to, there's also been a lot of different reviews showing the actual benefits of supplementing it. As opposed to something like glutamine, which is extremely abundant in the body and is not necessary to be supplemented, especially because the digestive system can't handle it. Taurine has been published in a few different studies, one which was named Taurine, a very essential amino acid, which shows the author's insistence that it's actually extremely essential to get in, especially if you're an athlete. Now, researchers are humble enough to admit that we don't really understand all of the different mechanisms of actions that it has. However, it's critical to eye health because it's crucial for photoreceptor development, and insufficient levels of it are linked to several health consequences, including neuron damage, development of abnormalities, renal dysfunction, and cardiomyopathy. A lot of its cognitive benefits come from the restoration of GABA receptors and taurine transporters, which reduces oxidative stress and neuroinflammation, along with stimulated mitochondrial biogenesis and synaptic function. So it obviously has been talked about a lot for athletes. It's super important in that realm. But for things like focus, which you could be using for a lot of different things, whether it's sitting at a desk, in the gym, at work, whatever, there's a lot of nootropic benefits as well, which we don't really talk about enough here. You'll be getting this across the entire Ghost line if you're using other products. Things like the Amino, Legend, all sorts of products here are using nice dosages of taurine. So you're getting a decent amount of it, and you'll be staying very hydrated and focused in the moment. With that said, let's move into cholines. So we have a choline blend here of both alpha GPC and cognizin. Alpha GPC is at 600 milligrams. Cognizin is at 500 milligrams. This is a big dose of choline here. Now, alpha GPC is a 50% choline by weight, but we get 600 milligrams here, which is a few different benefits coming with it. We often get asked which choline is better, and honestly, there's benefits to both, and I like what they did here with CGs by using both. Alpha GPC, like I mentioned before, crosses the blood-brain barrier, and it's super helpful because of that. It's very, very nootropic. Now, this dose has a few different benefits outside of even just focus. It also has claims for power output and performance, which is pretty awesome. If you're using this pre-workout with a pump, like I said, or if you're just using it regularly, those benefits are going to be active, even if you're using it earlier in the day. So 50% of that alpha GPC is being donated to be used as choline for acetylcholine, forming the learning neurotransmitter. But what about the other one, Cognizin cytocholine? Cognizin is coming out of Kiowa, a very high-quality company that we love to see in here. Cognizin at 500 milligrams has a lot of benefits, and similar to tyrosine, helps with the formation of some neurotransmitters. This choline is a little bit different than alpha GPC because it is a feel-good choline. Alpha GPC, you take it, you feel some focus. Cytocholine, there's almost like a stimulating effect to it. It creates dopamine and norepinephrine within the body, which can really help out with mood boosting, pick you up a little bit, and get you on your way. There's a lot of different ways to do choline blends, and we get excited with them pretty often. This is probably the more expensive way to do it, but honestly, for a limited edition here, why not? This combination feels amazing. It's super helpful, and hopefully, we're expecting it to inspire some other companies to do some similar things. So let's move on from choline into aquamin. Aquamin is obviously a trace mineral product from red marine algae. It's from Futureceuticals. So from Futureceuticals, you normally actually don't expect very high dosages. 500 milligrams here. Super helpful for hydration. We've seen this in the industry for a while. Aquaman is a nice little addition onto some products. Alongside taurine, it's a nice, helpful ingredient for hydration. It's a great source of calcium. And as the trace mineral kind of idea goes along here, we've been talking about deficiencies of different ingredients. Obviously, minerals are no different. If you are deficient in those, that's not a good idea for anything for performance, to feel good health, to focus. Here, we're kind of helping out with that. If you've been sweating, if you've been somehow losing minerals, this is going to help replenish them and help get you back up to speed. Raw coconut here is a similar idea. At 500 milligrams, it not only makes it taste amazing because coconut helps with flavoring, but it also, again, brings trace minerals into the mix. Multiple studies have linked low trace minerals with impaired cognition, mental fatigue, and brain fog. All of these things happen when you're dehydrated. And don't get me started on the athletic detriments of being even slightly hydrated. A very small percentage can yield a huge change in performance, so make sure you're not just getting your gallon of water in, but also the minerals to help make sure that you are retaining the water. One research study even found that coconut water was just as good as carbohydrate electrolyte drink in terms of whole body rehydration. That's why we see it in a whole bunch of different products here, right? All the way from amino to gamer to CG focus now. Coconut water is I'm not going to say it's cheap, but it's a cost-effective solution for hydration here. Now, obviously, we end this off with estrogen. New Live Sciences estrogen has been a big ingredient for the V2 launch for Ghost. Obviously, Ghost has partnered up with New Live very nicely. They support their ingredients a ton. We're big fans of New Live. They do some cool stuff. Estrogen helps with the absorption rate of anything from amino acids to choline to even just lowering intestinal wall inflammation up to 73%, which will help with the absorption of tons of different ingredients, foods, and just your gut health, which is a huge deal. CG Focus is an awesome product. I'm a super huge fan of it. I'm really, honestly, blowing through this stuff. I asked Dan early on, I was like, hey, Gamer's pretty awesome, but obviously we're all playing this like super late at night. Do you guys have a non-stim version possibly coming? He teased this a few times. We talked about it a little bit on a podcast at one point. Super happy to see it here, and hopefully, maybe it'll make its way into staying around. Obviously, this is limited edition for now, but maybe in the future, we'll see it coming back in some, maybe a restock, or maybe finding its way into the line long term. No promises. I don't know anything yet, but I'm hopeful because it's an awesome product. In any case, this is kind of a fun new idea because Ghost has never had it out before, and their collabs are always based on existing SKUs. So we're super excited to see them doing something new with CG. If you have any questions about the product, feel free to comment below. I'd love to talk about it with you, or anything Ghost, CG, whatever. Obviously, I did get this product for free. We do have a business affiliate relationship with Ghost. I got to get it out there for all of the armchair lawyers back at home. But you guys know what I'm going to say. They do awesome things for the industry. They legitimize us. They help out with these authentic collabs from all sorts of great companies and bringing funding into the industry by getting us legitimized. So, in any case, I really appreciate you making this far in the video. And as always, have a great day.
Welcome to PricePlow.